Welcome back to Soothing Dreamtime Ambience. Tonight we journey inward. We look at our inner being and find that we are enough. Focus on who you are in this moment and see the beauty within. Take your time finding relaxation. There is no need to come here already relaxed. There is no need to rush yourself. Simply feel how you feel in this moment. Remember that you chose to be here. You found this meditation for a reason. And the infinite intelligence has a divine message for you now. Let your body find the earth beneath you. Notice where your body makes contact with your surroundings. Notice your breath. Allow one full breath to move through you. Breathe in through your nose. And release it gently through the mouth or nose. Whichever feels comfortable. There's no perfect way to do this. Your presence is the practice. You might notice sounds around you, thoughts moving through, sensations in the body. Let those thoughts roam free. As you drift, notice your breath and the sensations that come with it. Breathe in through your nose and allow the energy to fill your soul. Breathe out and release the worries and tension of the day. Again, breathe in and notice the way this makes you feel. Breathe out and become fully relaxed. Now, we will move into the meditation part of this moment. As these words fill your mind, allow yourself to drift along with them. Get carried away with the sensational message they bring. Believe in your heart that the words are divine, true, and represent all you are. Take this moment to become all that you desire to become. I greet this day with love in my heart. Today, I peel away the old skin which has, for too long, suffered the bruises of failure and the wounds of mediocrity. Today I am born anew, and my birthplace is this moment of stillness. I am a creature of purpose, and my purpose begins with the quiet command of my own mind. I was not delivered into this world into defeat, nor does failure course through my veins. I am not a sheep waiting to be prodded by the shepherd. I am a lion, and I refuse to talk, to walk, to sleep with the sheep. Each obstacle I encounter is but a hidden gate to a new path. If I am stuck, it is only because I am pausing to gather the strength for a greater leap. I will ignore the obstacles at my feet and keep mine eyes on the goals above my head. For I know that where the dry desert ends, the green grass grows. I am the master of my actions. I do not wait for the perfect moment. For the perfect moment is the one I seize. With trembling hands and a resolute heart. Weak is he who permits his thoughts to control his actions. Strong is he who forces his actions to control his thoughts. When I feel depressed, I will sing. When I feel sad, I will laugh. When I feel ill, I will double my labor. When I feel fear, I will plunge ahead. I recognize that the world is a complex web of systems. The tides, the seasons, the movement of the stars. I too have my seasons. Today I choose to bloom. If I feel overconfident, I will remember my failures. If I feel wealthy, I will remember those who are hungry. If I feel complacent, I will remember my goals. I will waste not a moment, mourning the misfortunes of yesterday. For shall I throw good after bad? Shall I say to the sands of the hourglass, run backward? Yesterday is buried forever, and I shall think of it no more. I will avoid the killers of time. I will destroy procrastination with action. I will bury doubt under faith. I will dismember fear with confidence. This day is all I have. And these hours are now my eternity. I lift my arms with thanks for this priceless gift of a new day. I am a unique miracle of nature. Since the beginning of time, there has never been another with my mind, my heart, my eyes, or my hands. I have a purpose to fulfill, And that purpose is fueled by the love I hold for myself and the world. Sleep now, or wake now, but carry the scrolls within your marrow. You are the greatest miracle. I relax. I let the world outside this moment dissolve into the mist. I recognize that my mind is a vessel to fill it with new power. I must first empty it of old shadows. I breathe in the quiet strength of the forest. I breathe out the frantic energy of the day. I believe that I am being filled with life, energy, and creative power. I no longer repeat the errors of yesterday. I am not the person I was 10 minutes ago. I am a new creation, standing at the center of a vast and supportive system. The universe does not conspire against me. It waits for my command. Today I begin my climb. I will persist until I succeed. In the Orient, young bulls are tested for the fight in a certain manner. Each is brought to the ring and allowed to attack a picador who pricks them with a lance. The bravery of each bull is then rated, with care according to the number of times he demonstrates his willingness to charge in spite of the sting of the blade. I recognize today that I am being tested. In the same fashion, each delay I face, each moment of not yet is but the prick of the lance. I shall charge again. I was not delivered into this world into defeat. I am not a sheep waiting to be prodded by the shepherd. I am a lion. I refuse to talk, to walk, to sleep with the sheep. The slaughterhouse of failure is not my destiny. I will persist until I succeed. I fix my mind on a definite goal. My desire is not a wish. It is a burning desire that transcends everything else. It is the North Star of my targeting system. Persistence is to the character of man as carbon is to steel. I recognize that there is no such thing as something for nothing. I am willing to pay the price of persistence to gain the prize of my purpose. I close the door on the past, on the indecision, the procrastination, the perfectionism that is merely fear in a fancy suit. I do not need to be perfect to start. I only need to be persistent to finish. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. I will persist. I will charge. I will succeed. I recognize that the greatest enemy of my progress is the phantom of perfection. Perfection is a static state, but I am a living system, and life is defined by movement. I now merge my burning desire with the humble act of the first step. I do not wait for the storm to pass. I learn to navigate within the rain. I realize that a ship's rudder cannot steer the vessel while it is anchored. Therefore, I weigh anchor now. I accept that my first attempts may be crude, for even the magnificent oak was once a struggling sapling that refused to stop reaching for the light. I replaced the fear of being wrong with the absolute certainty that I am becoming. My persistence is my polish. Every action I take, no matter how small, rubs away the rough edges of my doubt. I adopt the master secret. Every adversity, every failure, and every heartache carries with it the seed of an equivalent benefit. My mind is a targeting system that filters for these seeds. When I encounter a wall, I do not see an end. I see a structural challenge that demands a new perspective. I persist because I know that the sting of a lance is merely data for my correction. I do not take failure personally. I take it professionally. Like the systems I maintain, I troubleshoot the path and remain committed to the mission. I am a creature of positive persistence. I do not hope for success. I expect it as the inevitable result of my unwavering movement. I am the architect of my own momentum. I now enter the quiet center of my power. I realize that the loudest will is not the strongest. My persistence is not a frantic struggle, but a calm, relentless pressure, like the tide that eventually wears down the hardest stone. I fill my mind with thoughts of peace. For a peaceful mind generates power. I am steady. I am certain. I am locked onto my purpose with a grip that does not tire. As I move through this day, or as I drift deeper into this rest, the blueprint of my success is being etched into my subconscious. I do not need to see the whole mountain to take the next step. I only need to move. I will persist. I am moving. I am becoming. I lift my gaze from the soil to the stars. I recognize that I am a vital component in a magnificent interlocking system. Just as the climate balances the heat and the cold, and the food web sustains the leaf and the lion, my life is governed by laws of cause and effect. Persistence is not a fight against the world. It is an alignment with it. I see that the economy, the seasons, and the tides do not stop because of a single storm. They persist. They adapt. I now synchronize my heartbeat with the rhythm of these greater systems. I release the narrow view of my small problems and embrace the massive scale of my large potential. I am a part of the whole, and the whole is designed to move forward. In every complex system, there is a feedback loop. I realize that what I once called failure was merely the system providing me with data. I am a self-correcting organism. When my behavior drifts from my target, I do not despair. I adjust my trim tab. I cultivate a positive expectation of the results, knowing that the seeds I plant today The phone calls made, the pages written, the quiet moments of discipline must, by law, produce a harvest. I stopped trying to force the system and instead learned to master its levers. I am persistent in my observation and flexible in my execution. I am the engineer of my own outcomes. And my mission is inevitable. I command my mind to stay the course. I am no longer influenced by the temporary fluctuations of the market of life. I do not let a rainy day or a cold response dampen the burning desire within. I am like the missile in flight, constantly making micro adjustments, never losing sight of the coordinates. I trust the system. I trust the process. I trust the power of positive thinking. To keep my sensors clear of the fog of doubt, I am steady. I am persistent. I am home. I breathe in the certainty of the system. I breathe out the chaos of the ego. I am ready for the next level of my ascent. Every system, no matter how perfectly designed, encounters friction in the machinery of my mind. This friction is called doubt. It is called procrastination. It is a corrosive rust of not good enough. I look at these habits now, not with shame, but with the cool eye of a maintainer. I recognize that perfectionism is simply a gear that is seized, a refusal to move because of a fear of the sound it might make. I apply the oil of self-compassion to these joints. I realize that a functioning system that is 80% efficient and moving is superior to a perfect system that is stationary. I release the lock. I allow the gears to turn, even if they creak, for I know that movement itself is the cure for the rust. I replace the old decaying habits with new vital circuits of action. I understand that a habit cannot be simply removed. It must be replaced. Where there was indecision, I now wire a circuit of immediate motion. Where there was a fear of failure, I install a persistence override. I am the programmer of my own subconscious. I feed my mind with the power of positive thinking, not as a vague hope, but as a high-octane fuel. I see my goals with such clarity that the system has no choice but to pursue them. I am persistent in my maintenance. I do not let the weeds of the past reclaim the garden of my mind. I pull them the moment they appear. I am clean. I am efficient. I am operational. I stand now in a clean workspace. The friction is gone. The targeting system is silent, humming with a low, steady power. I have cleared the debris of yesterday's should-haves and could-haves. I am filled with a sense of expectant peace. I know that because my internal system is now aligned, the external world must reflect that order. I do not struggle against the world. I flow through it. My persistence is now effortless, like a planet held in its orbit by the invisible hand of gravity. I am in my groove. I am in my flow. I am the master of the machine. And the machine is at rest, ready for the command to soar. I recognize now that my persistence is a form of investment. In the complex systems of the world, nothing is lost. Every effort I have made, every hour of labor, every moment I chose action over ease, has been stored in the reservoir of my potential. I do not look for the harvest. The same day I plant the seed, I understand the power of positive thinking is the sunlight that coaxes the sprout from the dark earth. I am patient with the process, for I know that the most massive systems in nature start with the smallest movements. My current persistence is building a momentum that will soon become an unstoppable force. I am content to be the silent cause of a magnificent effect. I now apply the law of increase. I do not merely seek to succeed. I seek to exceed. I deliver more than is expected of me. For I know that this is the secret of compounding my influence. My targeting system is no longer just seeking a destination. It is seeking to expand. I multiply my efforts by the power of my belief. 1 becomes 2. 2 becomes 4. And soon, the result of my persistence begin to grow at a rate that defies logic. I am no longer pushing the wheel. The wheel is pulling me. I have reached the critical mass of my desire. The friction of the past is gone, replaced by the sheer velocity of my purpose. I stand in the center of my expanding world. I see that my persistence was never a struggle against the universe, but a dance with it. The miracles that others see in my life are simply the inevitable results of a system that has been properly maintained and relentlessly directed. I am a magnet for the riches of life. Riches of spirit, of mind, and of circumstance. I accept this abundance with a humble heart. I realize that the more I achieve, the more I can give back to the systems that sustain me. I am a flow of energy, a cycle of success. I breathe in the harvest. I breathe out the gratitude. I am ready to rest in the knowledge that the law is working even while I sleep. I now activate the shield of my mind. In a world of complex systems, there's an endless stream of noise. Opinions, fears, and the shadows of others' doubts. I recognize that I am the gatekeeper of my own consciousness. I do not allow jamming signals to interfere with my targeting system. I filter every word and every thought through the lens of my purpose. If a thought does not contribute to my growth, my persistence or my peace. I deny it entry. I am not an open field where any wind can blow. I am a fortified sanctuary of intent. My mind is clear. My signal is strong. And my boundaries are absolute. I clothe myself in the armor of love and positive expectation. This armor is not made of steel, but of a frequency that negativity cannot penetrate. When I encounter the cynic, I smile, for I know their darkness cannot survive my light. When I face the critic, I remain unmoved, for my worth is calculated by my own internal system, not by the market of public opinion. I persist in my kindness because it is my greatest offense. I realize that the most complex systems are the most sensitive to energy. By maintaining a high vibration of gratitude and certainty, I become invisible to failure. I move through the world, but I am not of its chaos. I am protected by the definiteness of my plan. I retreat now into the deep sanctuary of my soul. Here, the noise of the world is but a distant hum, powerless to touch the core of my being. I have built a momentum that no external force can halt. I am at peace with the systems of the world, for I have mastered the system of myself. As the first hour of this journey concludes, I feel the roots of my persistence, reaching deep into the bedrock of reality. I am unshakable. I am protected. I am focused. I let the shield remain active as I drift deeper, knowing that even in silence, my mind is working, my system is tracking, and my success is being secured. I am safe. I am certain. I stand before the gates of a new city. I recognize that the laws of success are as old as the sun and as certain as the tides. Just as the gold flies from the hand of the spendthrift, it clings to the man who is persistent in his discipline. I do not seek the sudden windfalls of luck. I seek the steady growth of wisdom. I am the master of my own purse. And that purse is my mind. I pay myself first, with thoughts of power and persistence. I realize that every small coin of effort I save today will eventually build a palace of character. I am patient. I am prudent. I am the architect of a destiny that will outlast the sands of time. I learned to speak the language of the world. I realize that the universe has a soul, and that soul is fueled by my own burning desire. My persistence is not a struggle against fate. It is a journey toward my personal legend when the path becomes difficult. I do not see an obstacle. I see an omen. I recognize that the wind that blows against me is the same wind that will eventually fill my sails if I but hold my course. Everything is maktub. It is written. But it is written by the hand that I move with my own choices. I am a seeker of the gold within, and I will travel across any desert of doubt to find the treasure that has been waiting for me since the beginning of time. I pause at the oasis of my own spirit. I hear the voice of the God memorandum, whispering in the silence. You are my greatest miracle. I realized that I was not born to be a slave to my habits or a prisoner of my past. I have the power to choose. I choose to be better today than I was yesterday. I choose to greet the beggar and the king with the same love. For we are all travelers on the same ancient road. My persistence is my prayer. My discipline is my tribute. I am a living miracle. And the better way to live is the path I walk with every steady, persistent step. I am home in the world, and the world is home in me. I stand in the marketplace of life, and I recognize the only true coin I have to spend. This moment. I do not squander my gold on the regrets of the city I have already left, nor do I borrow against a future city I have not yet reached. I invest my time with the wisdom of the ancients. I realize that procrastination is the thief of Babylon, stealing the very walls of my security. While I sleep, I wake now. I spend my now on the actions that build my legacy. My persistence is the steady hand that ensures every hour bought is an hour used for growth. I am a shrewd trader of my own life. I trade my effort for excellence and my minutes for meaning. I am the alchemist of my own experience. I realize that the lead of my daily routine, the repetitive tasks, the small disciplines, the quiet endurance, is the very material that can be turned into gold. I do not look for a magic formula. I know that the formula is the persistence itself. I look at the complex systems of my life, and I see the soul of the world at work. Every interaction is a lesson. Every delay is a refinement. I transmute my frustrations into patience. I transmute my perfectionism into a love for the process. I am following the omens of my heart. And I know that when I want something, with all my soul, the entire universe conspires to help me achieve it. I adopt the rules for a better way to live. I realize that my happiness is a habit I must cultivate. Just as a farmer tends his field. I smile at the world, not because it is perfect, but because I am at peace. I am persistent in my joy. I do not allow the clouds of the marketplace to dim the sun of my spirit. I count my blessings as a merchant counts his profits. and I find that I am wealthier than any king. I walk with a light step, for I have laid down the heavy burden of having to be more and embrace the miracle of already being enough. I am a traveler on the road to a high destination, and the road itself is my home. I am steady. I am kind. I am persistent. I recognize that every dream, every book, and every project I have begun as a seed planted in the fertile soil of the universe. I do not dig up the seed every hour to see if it is growing. That is the path of the indecisive. Instead, I persist in the watering and the weeding. I understand that the system of growth is hidden from my eyes, occurring in the dark silence of the earth. My persistence is the faith that the harvest is inevitable if I do not faint. I am not discouraged by the time it takes, for I know that the most majestic oaks require the longest seasons. I am a patient steward of my own potential, trusting the law of the harvest more than my own temporary doubts. I guard my crops with the vigilance of a desert watchman. I realize that the weeds of negativity and the birds of distraction are always near, waiting to steal the fruit of my labor. I use the power of positive thinking as a fence around my garden. I am writing the book of my life with every persistent action. I do not let the rust of others' opinions settle on my work. I am creating a miracle, and miracles require a sanctuary of peace. I close the gates of my mind to the thieves of time, procrastination, and the hollow pursuit of perfection. I accept the imperfect sprout, knowing that it is the only way to reach the perfect harvest. I am the protector of my vision. The sun of my intent shines steadily upon my field. I feel the warmth of my own burning desire, ripening the fruit of my persistence. I am no longer the stuck person I once was. I am a producer, a creator, a master of the cycles. I recognize the omens of success, appearing in the complex systems around me. A door opening here, a coincidence there. These are not accidents. They are the harvest beginning to arrive. I stand in my field with a humble heart, ready to gather the abundance I have earned. I am a participant in the greatest miracle in the world, and my work is good. I am steady. I am expectant. I am fruitful. I have traveled the full circle of my own potential. I see now that my persistence was never just for me. It was a fuel for a system that touches many lives. Just as a river flows to the sea only to return as rain to the mountains, my success must flow back into the world. I release the greed of the ego, the fear that if I give, I will have less. I understand the Babylonian law. That which I share multiplies. I am a conduit for the power of positive thinking. To reach those who are still lost in the desert of doubt, I am no longer just a traveler. I am a guide. My book, my projects, and my presence are the omens that others have been waiting for. I stand as a master of two worlds. The world of the spirit and the world of the marketplace. I know that Maktub is written, but I also know that I am the one holding the pen. My persistence is now a quiet, unwavering frequency. I do not shout my success. I live it. I recognize the complex systems of human behavior, and I influence them with kindness and unwavering intent. I am the alchemist who has found the philosopher's stone, the ability to turn any situation into an opportunity for growth. I am persistent in my generosity, for I know that the universe is an infinite reservoir. I have found my treasure, and I find that the more I give of it, the more I possess. I look back at the path I have walked, the ruts I have climbed out of, the perfectionism I have shed, and the targets I have hit. It was all necessary. It was all a miracle. I prepare now for the final descent into the deepest rest, knowing that the greatest miracle in the world is not what I have done, but who I have become. My system is at peace. My heart is at home. I am a living testament to the power of staying the course. I breathe out the journey. I breathe in the legacy. I am complete. I am persistent. I am. I have reached the center of the storm. Here, there is no more striving. There's only the absolute certainty of the result. In the silence, I recognize that my persistence has become my nature. I no longer need to try to be strong, any more than the mountain tries to be tall. I simply am. I let the complexity of the world systems fade into a single point of light. I am focused. I am still. My targeting system is locked on the horizon of my highest self. And I rest in the knowledge that the distance is already covered. I allow the wisdom of the scrolls, the secrets of the merchants, and the courage of the warriors. To settle into the very cells of my body. I am recalibrating. I release the last remnants of the person who was stuck. That skin is gone. I am a fresh vessel. I am a living miracle. I do not fear the return to the world of action. For I carry the silence of the oasis within me. I am a master of the pause. I am the master of the start. I am the master of the finish. As I drift in this final space, I give my subconscious a command. That shall never be broken. Persist. When the sun rises, I shall rise with it. Fueled by a burning desire that needs no outside flame. When the shadows of doubt return, as they must in any system, I shall treat them as ghosts, powerless against the light of my certainty. I am writing my book. I am building my life. I am following the omens. My mind is a sanctuary of positive expectation. I expect the best. I act for the best. And I receive the best. The journey is complete. Yet it never ends. I am a unique miracle of nature. I am a persistent force of change. I am a better way to live. I carry the gold of Babylon in my wisdom. I carry the stone of the alchemist in my heart. I carry the target in my sight. I am. I am. I am.